And today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about overcoming social anxiety. Mhm. I know there's a lot of people that have it, and I hear over and over people say, I would love to talk to my team more. I would love to make videos. I would love to go live. I would love to be recognized at events, but it just makes me so nervous. I would just die. I would just die. And you see that person and you think, oh, who would die? But it turns out that there's a lot of pre-programming in your brain that kind of tells you the other thing. It tells you you're gonna die. So we're gonna talk a little bit today about how to deprogram that so that you're able to have the confidence to get up in front of people, to talk, to make videos, to engage strangers, to do all of those things that may make you so nervous that you cannot stand it right now. But in order to tell you how to deprogram that, I have to tell you a story about my friend, Robin Darby. Now, Robin is a leader on another team, and she's a very wonderful friend of mine who I really wasn't sure what to think of when I first met her. Robin is whiskey in a teacup, for lack of a better explanation. When you meet her, she will flash you the most friendly, welcoming, warm smile you've ever seen, and you think, oh, this is cool, this is great. And then you take a swig of what's in this beautiful teacup, and kind of like that first alcoholic beverage, you go, oh, good, that's really good. That's Robin. She's great, but she's a full flavor gal, so you got to be really ready to take her on. And the thing about Robin is that her day job is as an OR nurse. So she's in an operating room with people literally cut open, undergoing procedures all day long. And that's her job. She camps out in the operating room and she assists and she does all these things, right? Life and death kind of situations, right? But Robin in that environment is cool, calm, collected. It's like it's no big deal. It's like getting groceries at the grocery store, man. She is just doesn't phase her anymore, right? She is totally confident about going into that room. However, a couple of months ago, Robin was asked to speak at a posh convention in front of the whole group. And this for Robin was an exciting opportunity. She was very honored. And of course, Robin, being her very social self, said, of course, that would be wonderful. Thank you for the invitation. This is great. And then the fear set in. She suddenly realized that she was going to be standing in front of all of these people. And a couple of hours before, or the night before, we were going to do this particular gathering where she was going to give her speech. The panic kind of overtook her. What is the reason for that? Well, there's a couple things. One is that in these situations that make us somewhat nervous, we have a tendency to overestimate the worst case scenario. Okay? We literally feel like we are going to die if we get up in front of all of these groups of people. Does that make any sense? No, you're not going to die if you get up in front of a group of people, okay? What's the worst that could happen? I tell people this all the time. What is literally, really the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen? So I looked at Robin, being the OR nurse, and said, Robin, this makes no sense to me. This makes no sense to me. You deal every single day with life or death situations in a surgical operating room where one mistake could kill somebody, and you're totally chill about that. But you get asked to get up on a stage where absolutely no one can die, because no one can die from you giving a speech. You're panicked and you're freaking out. What's the deal? So the more Robin and I talked about this, the more that she came to realize that really she could handle much bigger, scarier things than giving a speech in front of people, and she was great. So that's why I call that the Darby Effect. Overestimating the worst case scenario is called the Darby Effect. But it turns out that Robin is doing something that was pre-programmed in her the day that she was born. The part of our brain that tells us there's a threat, you need to fight, fly, or freeze, there is a third option, is called the amygdala. And as it turns out, the chemicals that you feel when you are stressed are the exact same chemicals that you would feel when you're about to die. in a very dire, in a very scary situation. Unfortunately, your amygdala only has two options. You're gonna die, or everything's totally cool. There's no problem. There's no middle setting for getting up and talking in front of a bunch of people. So what you have to do is know that that's going to happen. It can happen. Your whole body can react as though you are about to be in a car crash or some sort of, someone chasing you with a knife situation. And it can make you feel completely debilitated. It can make you feel like you need to run out of the room. It can make you feel frozen, like you can't remember what you were about to say. So the way to deprogram that is to really take the Darby effect into mind when you're about to do something scary, when you're about to do something, socially uncomfortable, when you're going to leave your comfort zone, and realize your body may be telling you you're going to die. But if you get into your mind and say, what is the worst case scenario? More than likely, the worst case scenario of you giving a speech in front of a bunch of people is that someone will be chatting on their phone or texting on their phone and miss the whole thing. Somebody may fall asleep. Someone may carry on a conversation on the side that has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but that's really about the worst that's going to happen. That's not that bad, okay? So if you will, take a moment when you're faced with a stressful situation and think, what is the worst that could happen? And if the answer is not, I'm going to die, then you can tell your brain, hey, ramp down that reaction, ramp down that beating heart, that sweat that's curling up on your forehead, the shaking hands, all of that, and just tell yourself, I'm excited about what I'm about to do. I'm excited about what I'm about to do. I am not going to die. And if you will remember that, and if you actually look at the worst case scenario and realize that the worst case scenario is really not all that bad, you will be able to do amazing things. Now, that's not to say that Robin, on her first day in the operating room, was not quaking and shaking. I would be worried if she wasn't. Your first day at doing something big and scary is big and scary, okay? So how has Robin gone from being scared to death that she's going to kill somebody to being cool, calm, and collected in the operating room all day as if it is her second environment? Because it is. The answer is that courage is a muscle. Courage is a muscle. It's something that you build up. The way that muscles are made is you actually break down muscle fibers and they come back stronger. They heal stronger. So courage is the same way. The more often that you put yourself out there, the more often that you do things that make you uncomfortable, the more that you realize that the worst case scenario is you didn't die, your brain will start to settle down. It will start to say, oh, we've been here before. There's no threat. She's fine. I'm going to go back to, doing what I was doing before. I'm going to go back to chill mode, where I was when we started this whole situation. So remember that courage is a muscle that needs to be worked, that the worst case scenario is almost always not you're going to die, and that doing things that are out of your comfort zone continuously and regularly are the ways to build up your tolerance for the fight, flight, or freeze mentality, and that building up your courage muscle will allow you to do so many more things that you didn't think that you could do before. Okay? Thanks.